1. There is a season for everything, a time for every occupation under heaven. 2. A time for giving birth, a time for dying, a time for planting, a time for uprooting what has been planted. 3. A time for killing, a time for healing, a time for knocking down, a time for building. 4. A time for tears, a time for laughter, a time for mourning, a time for dancing. 5. A time for throwing stones away, a time for gathering them, a time for 6. A time for searching, a time for losing, a time for keeping, a time for discarding. 7. A time for tearing, a time for sowing, a time for keeping silent, a time for speaking. 8. A time for loving, a time for hating, a time for war, a time for peace.